something beautiful is on its way to you. This is the experience of a lifetime, my dear friend. You want to give yourself this at all costs to your ego, your pride, and your fears. Love, it's everywhere. It's beautiful. It lives within. It doesn't need to be created. It is already there for you. We've hiked down 3 canyons, and here we are. Let's shoot it, baby. I feel the funky chicken, the funky Messiah. Yes! Search for yourself on your own. Go within yourself. Find it within your breath, within your very spirit.
Mrs. Nixon is done.
Now I want to do a little magic trick. A spiritual path brings us to a place in our life where we discover the diamond and we learn how to pull it out of the mud. It's all very interesting. Let's talk responsibility. What is the point of it all? What is my responsibility in this life? What is your responsibility? And how does that play into the meaning of our life? Well, our responsibility is about one thing and one thing alone: feeling love and expressing it. Buddha put it very well, and he put all of our responsibilities and all of our insights into one little package when he said, "See how you love what keeps you from the journey, and hate never yet dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate." This is a very big problem in a lot of us. We live off of subtle hatred. And I want to talk to you in this program about our responsibility. You're not going to like a lot of the things I'm going to have to share with you because they take away the pride factor. Jesus did it too. When he starts out the Beatitudes, he talks about blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the meek. He doesn't talk about people being powerful. The thing that we love most in this world is hatred. We're into hatred very deeply. Hate can be a very subtle thing. Why is it that we love hate so much? It's because basically we think we're very powerful in hate. We are a very primitive people, both in our technology and in our spirituality, mostly in our spirituality. We definitely think in terms of hatred being the only power that we have that can change situations and conditions. How patient am I in my life to see how I love, what keeps me from my journey, and to live inside of myself, understanding that hate never yet dispelled hate. There comes a point in everybody's life, and I don't know where it will come with you, or it already has, I'm sure, in past, but it'll happen again, where you have a choice between hate or love. Now here's the problem. You know what hate is. You know how it works. You also know the effects of it upon your life and other people's lives. And sometimes we get off on our hatred. We really like it. It turns us on. But love is another thing. Every difficult situation that you and I have in our life is an opportunity for me to choose love over hate. Now, I may not know what love is, and I do not profess standing here with you on this beautiful morning that I understand love in its totality. But I can tell you this: love is realized through practice. I have to stretch myself beyond my own hate. The hate I have maybe for a situation, a condition, a person, even myself, and mostly myself, to ever discover love. So the question is not going to be, what is the situation and how can I change it through love? The question is, do I have the courage inside of myself to love beyond those things in my life that I hate? See, here's the honest truth. We really like hate over love. We have no intentions of being loving. We want our hate to make our love look like real love, and it's not. We think that in hate there's a tremendous power to move and change things. So we use hatred in subtle ways, trying to cover it up to make it look logical or loving. And most people turn their backs on it. I have seen people say, oh, I'm spiritual, students who have come to me, both in counseling and personally, and I'll say, well, what have you studied? And they'll spit out all sorts of sutras and things, but when it comes right down to it, they're not loving at all. The first chance they have to hate or to be in anger, bingo, just like that, they're in it. How can you say you love when you fall into hate so easily? Hate never yet dispelled hate, Buddha said. Only love dispels hate. And it has nothing at all to do with holding it in. People love to hold in their anger and appear to be loving when they're not. Subtle forms of hatred, the need for self-righteousness, pride, arrogance, blaming other people, inability to forgive. These are just a few of the reasons why our world is the way it is, but this is also why our meditations are difficult. When you sit down to meditate, it's really hard when there's so much anger and hatred in you that you're sitting there in your self-righteous indignation trying to figure out why you even need to meditate because you're so perfect as it is. I've seen people like that. Hate is a very wonderful quality in the Western culture, in our world today, and it's what most of us use to get by in life. Spiritual practice dispels hate. Jesus tried to talk about it. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are they that do hunger and thirst. These are all psychological, emotional qualities that develop a mechanism in me for my hatred to fall apart. And if you look at your mind, you will see it is based in the narcissistic belief that the only thing that's important in life is ourselves. I've seen it all in my day. People are selfish. They're actually proud of how selfish they are. They think it's perfectly fine to be self-absorbed and selfish about the way they live their life. And in doing so, not only is the pride enhanced, but the inability to ever reach love at all costs to what we're afraid of. So what is my responsibility? How should I respond? Responsibility means my ability to respond. That's an interesting idea. How am I supposed to respond to anything? How far do you let someone go, push you, take you, before you respond in hatred, in anger, in fear? I think a lot of people, it doesn't take much. I've noticed over the years with my talks on TV, radio, even in my counseling sessions, it's sure a lot easier to provoke someone's hatred than it is to provoke their love. Why is that? Does that bespeak of anything about us or about me as an individual? Well, of course it does. Why am I so prone to hate over love? Why will I respond to hate over love? Because it's far more gratifying. And the illusion is that I might get what I want and I'm in my rightness. There's a term I like to use for this called narcissistic revenge. Narcissistic revenge is when I go out cruelly and try to prove myself right so I can be better than you, so I can be more right than you, and I will take it at all costs to be right. I will take it at all costs to hurt you, but more importantly, to hurt myself. What do you think hurts more, being right or what it took to be right? That's one of the questions you have to ask yourself. It's a very, very powerful question. Most people would rather just be right. The whole idea of rightness is more important to them than what they lose for the sake of their rightness. If I'm going to grow and expand inside this lifetime, it won't be because my ideas and my theories change. It won't be because my beliefs are altered. It will be because I begin to see compassion over hatred. When I begin to understand the bigger picture of life, it isn't important in circumstances and conditions or with people whether or not I am right. It's not important when someone is attacking me or trying to hurt me that I come back at them and try to hurt them and prove I am right, I am more powerful than you. It is not the way. Sometimes, and I'm going to say something to you quite controversial, sometimes it is better to die at the hand of your enemy than to have him die at the hand of your vengeance. And most people are just not mature enough to do that. That's why this narcissistic revenge is very important to us. Forgiveness. How can I forgive you when I'm so narcissistically wrapped up in my need to avenge my rightness over your wrongness? And how do I know you're wrong? Listen, let me give you some how-tos, little things you can do to really change the way you live your life. Don't be so passionate about your rightness. Become passionate about your rightness. If you're compassionate about rightness, then rightness goes out the door, and all you're left with is the ability to be compassionate, to listen to another person. What does it hurt you if somebody else thinks they're right and you know maybe it's not the way? Why do you feel such an obligation maybe to straighten them out? Let them have their way. Let them find out their own way. We all have children that we love very much. We'd like for them to listen to the years of wisdom we have about what happens in life, but they look at us and they go, oh, come on, I'll figure it out myself, and they need to figure it out themselves. And when I look at my son and I say, I told you so, am I really helping him? No, not at all. Loving him is letting him make mistakes, just like you need to make mistakes and I need to make mistakes, and have the compassion to understand them for what they are. Never be provoked in hatred. Always see your hatred as a weakness. Never see it as a strength. If you feel provoked to hate someone or to act in hatred, stop, breathe, feel what you're doing, and ask yourself, is this worth it? Is this a part of the bigger picture? You'll soon see as you go on in your practice that it's not a part of the bigger picture of love. Love is something deeply subtle and yet more powerful than anything in this life. It has nothing to do with narcissistic revenge or even rightness. Love is about that very special and sacred place in our life where all things are made possible, where life is revealed, not for what we believe it to be, but for the way it is. And when I can understand that, I understand what the point of it all is. Many things are going to be laid at your door in the course of your lifetime. Ask yourself, what is the point of this? The point of everything is to reach love at all costs to my pride, my vanity, my ego, my self-hatred, my desires, my ambitions. And when I'm willing to put those things aside for the sake of a practice that makes me look like Lao Tzu said in the Tao Te Ching, an idiot, that is when something miraculous has happened. If you look at the teachings of the great masters, you will see that none of them penetrate into our culture and our society because they're nonsensical. They make no sense to our hatred, and hence give us the chance to respond only in love. When we do a fall and spring retreat, we combine those retreats to generate enough energy and interest inside of ourselves to do Vipassana meditation. The word Vipassana means insight meditation. And what it really is me sitting there with my students, and we are just watching our breath go in and out very gently, in and out. And what we are looking for are the pauses and the gaps and the spaces between our thoughts. And we measure that with the pause and the gap and the space between our breaths. And as we learn how to, so to speak, awaken to that energy there, a particular satori or a brief moment of enlightenment can happen to us. It's sometimes a flash, sometimes it takes the form of a little longer, but no matter what, it's there and available for all of us. But it's all a matter of energy. It is not a matter of thought, it's energy. It is energy that puts me in a position to stay alert enough on the inside of me to be aware of those pauses and gaps and spaces between our breaths. This little meditation that I'm going to offer you is called Vipassana. And this meditation in and of itself is so powerful because what it is awakening the inner body while the student is doing Vipassana meditation, just watching the breath, doing what they normally do, and allowing the tones to resonate on the inside of their inner body. from the root to the hari, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, and the crown chakra. Once I'm in Vipassana and I'm just watching, relaxing, feeling the breath, all of a sudden from out of nowhere, a deep inner connection with myself starts to happen, because it's the inner body that you and I are really all about, not the outer body. Remember, you want to live for those things which you can take with you through death. And this inner body is who and what you really are. And this is why in our summer sit, The Silence by the Sea, we work so diligently in Vipassana meditation. It's truly a very powerful experience. So I'm going to ask Subhuti and Moksha to close their eyes. You're going to be listening now to the CD and the chakras being opened up, the inner body, while they do Vipassana meditation. It's a very quiet meditation. You can do it along with us at home. Just sit and watch your breath and be aware of the pauses, the gaps, and the spaces between your breaths. There will be a part of you that will want to identify with the heart chakra. You will find that something starts to happen on the inside. A quality of life, a quality of consciousness starts to bloom. It's involuntary, and it just happens because it can. It's one of the most beautiful experiences you will ever know. And what they are feeling right now, they cannot express. So what they are doing is surrendering to that feeling. They want things to happen just the way they happen, wanting nothing with all of their heart. They let this experience unfold for them. Breath is everything. We're going to take just a little moment, take a brief break, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. What I wanted you to get out of this program is that you have a choice to respond. How you respond to anything is very, very important. You have the choice to respond out of love or respond out of hate. That is your choice. You know, people will say to you that the most important choices and decisions that you and I make in the course of a lifetime is who we're going to marry, what our career is, and what kind of house we're going to buy. I tell you that's all wrong. The most important decision you will ever make in your life, or I will ever make, is whether we're going to respond out of love or hate. Now, if I respond out of hate through narcissistic revenge because I think someone has hurt me and I have every right to try to hurt them back, there's no love in that. Remember, hate has logic. Love has no logic to it whatsoever. Love is the deepest mystery of this thing called life, and it is what the point of all of life is all about. If you and I are going to live a more, shall we say, spiritual life, it won't be because we've read a lot of authors who are awakened or even watch my silly little program here. It will be because you and I choose love over hate. I will respond from love even though it looks like I'm going to be losing my pride, my dignity, or my sense of power over a given situation. Love always affects things at an under level, at a subliminal level, never overtly. So, my dear friend, what's it going to be for you? Love or hate? In the end, the choice that you make will determine the whole point of it all for you in your life and what the meaning of your life is going to be. Most of us just simply sacrifice our living for our hatred. Please forgive me, won't you, for this one? Namaste. And wouldn't you say we need tolerance in this world more than anything else?
We need better tape is what we need.
Oh, gee whiz.
Action.
The word responsibility. You can call me any day. Hey, 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 I have a singing career. This Aspire thing is over. We're gonna be singing soon, you and me, baby. Cher, you know, Sonny and Cher.
What went wrong with Gregory Penn as my disciple was easy. He's so dumb.
You will see that the more you respond to love and as love, the more foolish you will look. God, I gotta fly.
The best thing he's ever done in his practice was to close his eyes. That's the best he could do. From there, it was all downhill.
That's it.
No wonder his wife likes him so much. Dun, 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 ah. To love beyond those things in my life that I hate.